Hello, thank you for watching my video. My name is Gregory Pierce. This video is being made for my NOS 130 class, and it is a command line tutorial. You can try to follow along if you like. And basically what I've did is I've got the command line open here on the left, so I can show you each one of these steps being done as they're being executed. Here on the right hand side I've got a batch file that I've created. It's basically using all the command lines that our teacher wanted us to kind of go over and show being worked and in the process. And I'm going to step you through or talk you through each one of these steps right now, and then I'm going to show you actually being done in the command line. And I'm also, when I get ready to do this, I'm going to show you, as you see here, this is the E directory, which is what I'm going to wind up going to in just a couple of minutes. And as you see here, the only files and folders that are in there right now is 2 tutorial edits, one text document and one file, and I'll show you, explain to you what those are here in a little bit. Here in my batch file I've got a couple CDs, spades, dots, and basically that tells the command line to move up one section in the directory and in the path that you're in. And then I've got an E colon, which is going to change me from the C directory to the E directory. And then I have this pause here. The pause is basically going to stop the command line from going on to the next step until you press a button. This gives me a little stopping point to be able to explain to you what I'm doing and what's going on. And you see here I have a dir, and I use this several times, and basically dir just stands for directory, and it shows you what files and folders are underneath the directory that you choose. Here's another pause, and now here I'm going to do a make directory Greg first, second, and third. That is basically going to make 4 files underneath the E directory that I'll be in at that moment. If I hadn't have put the space in between those, that would have made one file named Greg first, second, third. Now I'm going to do another dir to show you that those 4 files there were in fact created. And there's a pause. And now I'm going to move the 3 of those files, first, second, third, and I'm placing them into the E directory /Greg. And I'll do another dir to show you that those files will actually be gone from the E directory. And then I'll do another change directory to Greg, followed by dir to show you that first, second, third was in fact moved to the Greg folder. And that's what that dir there is. And then I do a clear screen just so it don't get too jumbled up. Next step, I'm going to do a rd, which is remove directory, and I'm going to get rid of the third file, or the file named third, underneath Greg. And then I'm going to rename the second folder simply renamed. And then I'm going to move the third folder, which is first, see E Greg first, and I'm going to put it into the E directory, followed by another pause, another dir to show you those 3 files were in fact deleted, moved, and are no longer underneath that directory. That's what that dir is for. With another pause, another clear screen to stop it from getting too jumbled up, I'll do another cd space dot to move up one space in the directory, and show you a dir to show you that the files have been moved to the E directory. Now this is a trib plus H first. Basically this is going to hide, the plus H means you're going to hide the folder name first in the E directory, so you won't see it. This dir space \AD is going to show you that if you throw in the switches \AD with a dir, it's going to show all of the files and all of the folders and directories underneath the directory that you are in, whether they are hidden or not, no matter what their attributes are. So the first will show up after you push dir space \AD. After this, I'm going to use the trib -H to get rid of that hidden attribute and to be able to allow the first folder to be showed again with a simple dir command. After another clear screen, I'm going to copy the file named tutorial edit.txt, which you've seen earlier in Windows Explorer, and I'm going to be moving it to E drive /first. And then I'll do a change directory to first and another dir to show you that that tutorial edit.txt has in fact been copied and moved. Now with another change directory dot to go back up into the E directory, I'm going to use xcopy with the switch commands E and I, which basically is going to tell the computer to copy all of the files, folders, and directories underneath that directory that I choose, regardless if they're hidden or not. And in fact, this one I'm going to be choosing C drive underneath users Greg, and all of the files and folders underneath documents. And I'm going to copy them and put them into the folder E Greg. After another clear screen, I'm going to change the directory to Greg and do another dir to show you those files and folders were in fact moved and are now in E Greg directory. After another clear screen and another dir to show you what's going on, I'm going to change the color. Color C is basically going to change the command line to change to a red writing on a black wall. There's other colors as well that you can change to if you don't like red, but I just chose red because I like it. After another change directory, to get that into the E directory, I do what's called prompt, and I put great video. Basically, anytime you type in prompt and you put in a word or name or anything after that, instead of it saying E:/ for the directory you're in, whatever name you choose, it will change that name to the name that you wrote in there, no matter what it is. But you'll still be in the same directory. I will show you how that works in just a minute. And then this type tutorial edit, basically when you press type and you put in a file or a folder name, whatever text or whatever information is underneath that folder, it will open it up and put it out to you and let you see and read what's inside of it. Now let's see how this works. After you write your batch file in a notepad file, you would click create, or file, I'm sorry. You would click save as you see here. Then you would change the save as type and you would change that to an all file, and you would choose whatever name you wanted to write it as. I chose tutorial. No matter what you choose for the name, you always want to put .bat behind it, and that tells the computer to save it as a batch file. I have already did this, so I'm just going to click cancel. Now I'll show you how this works. Come over to the command line, type in here, and you just simply type tutorial.bat, and that's going to run this batch file, and it's going to make this command line start going through all of these steps that I just went over with you. Press enter. And you see here we're in Greg. I did the first CD ... which is right here, and there's a second CD ... which is here, and then the E is right here, and now I'm in the E directory, and there's that first pause. And as you can see, it says press any key to continue. I'll press the space bar and move on to the next step. Here's my first dir to show you what's inside the E directory. In this case, all I have is those two files that I showed you earlier, tutorial edit and tutorial edit.txt, which is these first two files that I had made out here. These files here, I'll show you, they've already been made as well, just under this. MD, Greg, first, second, third. This is make directory, Greg, first, second, third. Now if I had to put a pause after this one right here, after this first dir, if I had to put a pause after that, and then it wouldn't have went ahead and made these folders, and these folders wouldn't have been here yet. But MD Greg first, second, third, that's make directory, and it's going to create 4 different files. And as you can see, here's my first dir. There's first, there's second, there's third, and there's Greg, as well as those 2 tutorial edits. So all those files are in there that I told it to create. Press spacebar and then do the next step. And this is the move, 3 different moves here. You're moving first, second, third, and we're placing them into the E drive underneath Greg. That's these 3 steps right here being done here. And here's the dir underneath the E directory. As you can see, all I have now is Greg and the 2 tutorials. After another space bar, I change directory here to Greg. Now in Greg I put dir, and as you see here, here's those 3 files, first, second, and third, have been placed where they're supposed to be. So as you can see right here, there's the directory, there's change directory to Greg, there's the dir. The next is going to be a clear screen. Press the space bar and it'll clear it. Now I've chose to remove directory, third, which is basically erasing or deleting the file third. I'm renaming the file that's named second to renamed. And as long as the files that you're wanting to rename and you're wanting to remove are in the directory that you're in, which right now I'm under Greg, those files are underneath Greg, so it's working. If they're not, then you will have to put the whole file name for what you're trying to do. So say for instance, if rename had been underneath C/user/Greg. Then I would have had to type rename C:\users/Greg/rename second renamed, just for an example. Now I'm moving Greg first, which is the first file underneath the E directory underneath Greg. I'll be moving it, changing it to simply the E directory, which you will see happen here. Here's the dir for Greg now. You see the file that was named second has now been changed to renamed. The file third has been completely removed and is no longer here. And the file first has been moved and placed into the E directory, which I'll be showing you next. Here's the cd ... which will move me back up to the E directory instead of the Greg directory. Here's the dir, and here's that file first that has been moved. Now here's the attrib ... or +h first, which is right here in the batch file. So attrib +h first is going to hide the file named first. As you can see here, I've done a dir, and that file first is no longer here. It was right here, but after that +h first attrib, now that file is gone. So if you were to come to my command line looking for a certain file and I've got it hidden, you might not know where it's at and exactly how to find it. But here's another way you can find it. Press spacebar. You see here I put dir and I put the switch command \AD. Now this is whether the file is hidden or not. This is going to show you all the files, all the folders, and all the directories that are underneath the directory that you are asking for, that you're in. I'm asking for all of the files underneath the E directory. So as you can see here, here's that first file again. Even though it's hidden, it's still being shown to me thanks to this switch command. Now here I do the attrib -h first, which is going to unhide that file name first. And I've done a simple dir this time, and there's that file first back in my list. Next step, I did another clear screen. I am copying tutorial edit.txt, and I'm going to place it in the E directory underneath first. It says one file was copied. Now I changed directory to first, as you can see here. Now under E first, I did another dir, and as you can see, that file has been copied and is now inside the E first directory, tutorial edit.txt. Now here you got E directory underneath first, change directory, I moved back up to simple the E directory. And what I did here was the X copy with the switch commands EI, and I chose C drive, users, Greg, documents. And I chose to copy them and put them into the E directory underneath Greg. The switch commands E and I is basically just telling the computer to copy each and every one of the files, folders, documents underneath my folder documents and placing it into the folder named Greg in my E drive. So that's what I've done here. Now it says there's 32 files have been copied and placed into the Greg file, and I'll show you that here. I did a change directory, went into the Greg, and I done a dir, and here's all those files. Now the reason you don't see all those 32 files as well as the rest of the files is a lot of those files were stuff that was inside like OneNote notebooks, or files that was inside the Sony PMB. So now all those files are back in underneath their directory that they're supposed to be in. And you can still type in right here, change directory, and you can change directory into the OneNote notebooks, and then do another dir, and you can see what all the files are underneath that directory if you would like. The next step I'm going to do is another clear screen. Then we'll change directories. No, I did a dir underneath Greg, I'm sorry. There's all those files again. The reason I showed this, I just wanted to show you the color change. Typed in underneath the Greg directory, I typed in color C, which you can do this in any directory, it doesn't matter. If you type in help, you can also see the other colors that are available. I chose C just because I like red, thought it looked cool. Just by simply changing and putting color space C or 1 or whatever color you choose, it changes the color of your writing, which I thought was pretty cool. Next thing I'm going to do is change my prompt. I changed the directory, went straight into the E drive. You see I'm in the E drive and I'm telling it to prompt great video : /. Whenever you write in prompt, like I said earlier, whatever name or whatever you choose to give it, it's going to change that drive into that name. As you can see here, the E drive has been dropped and now it says great video : /. I just thought that was a pretty cool little thing to show you as well. Now I'll show you those files in Windows Explorer. Here's that Greg file that I created earlier. Here's the first file that I created earlier. Inside Greg, here's all those files that I had done the X copy file with and copied underneath documents, and I placed them underneath my Greg file. Well, here's all those files. As you see under one notebook, here's 4 files, and there's also files inside of those. That's where all those 32 files that went earlier. And here's the first file, and there's that tutorial edit.txt document that I had copied and placed and moved into there, just to show you that it was done on Windows Explorer. We'll X out of that. And this is my final screen. This is why I put the type space tutorial edit. I created this little text document, and by typing in type and the name of the file that you wanted to play, type will show all the contents of a file that you ask it to. In this case was tutorial edit, and it says thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned as much as I did making it. This has been Greg Pierce, and this was for my NOS 130 class. Have a blessed day. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye.